welcome to Flying Chariots The Rise podcast with your hosts, Dustin and Chrissy. And today we have Heidi Popp, and that is her real name, I have confirmed. I'm actually jealous. I want your name. I want my last name to be Popp or something cool, but it's Boyce. And it's not even Dubois, it's Dubois. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let's focus. Heidi Popp is an actress. She's just good vibes all around. Like, I already love her. She's just so cool. If you don't know her, you're gonna love her too. And she has numerous paranormal experiences. I read up on you, and I checked out your IMDb, and I checked out the old episodes. So I know a little bit about you now. Tell us, for the people who don't know about you, a little bit about yourself to get started.
Okay, sure. I love that. My IMDb's still popping. I haven't nurtured it in a long time though. I did walk away. I went behind the camera about 18 years ago now to do a all-women craft service business and did events and red carpets and all that kind of stuff. And then 2020, I started homeschooling my kids. I just turned into like mom teacher lady. So 30 years of La La Land is now stories and fun callbacks. And now I improvise in the classroom with a bunch of kids, like little starseed kids, and teaching them about humanity and how to protect themselves and be the best selves and normalize the paranormal, really. So a little bit all that stuff.
I think one of the worst things about our society is that we are taught to ignore a lot of the things that we can see or sense when we're little, because we grow up like open to anything, and we grow up being able to see things that we can't see later in life, and past life experiences and all of this, and we're taught to close that off. That's a shame.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge shame, and that's why I do talk about it. I have children of my own now, and I am someone whose mom did not shut it down when she was young. In fact, she was having experiences herself. So I feel I'm one of the lucky ones. So with that, I feel like it's important to, spot those other children and be like, I see you, I get you, I hear you, and you're not alone, and you're okay. Like everything's gonna be okay. So yeah, some of those instances have happened, and I'm like, gosh, yeah, I kind of grew into the lady I always wanted to run into. I mean, I always had my mom, but really that was it. There wasn't a lot going on other than entertainment and movies and ET and things like that. But other children of my age going, yeah, I saw a fairy too. It didn't happen very much. So it's kind of cool to see all these kids with all the psychic abilities coming online now, and a lot of parents protecting them. So I don't know. To me, the future looks bright. I don't have that doomsday timeline going on, and I'm like, watching how these kids are operating nowadays, and that there's educators like myself out there now, and homeschools like on a major rise now. So I just feel like we're on a good track. Like things are going to go well. Yeah. A little bit everything there. Yeah.
So you're giving them like spiritual guidance essentially, right?
Yeah. Yes. And the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, that kind of stuff. But we're based in like Rudolf Steiner. So everything is very like, I don't know, dreamy and esoteric and spiritual and like woo. But, we learn by doing. And some people still feel this need to take their child to a school, whereas a child really wants life experience and they want immersive education. They want to do things. They don't want to be just be a parrot and memorize things. Right. So, showing them what they're capable of and how powerful they are at like 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, you just built a teepee, or look at you polishing crystals and, meditating. This is great.
Yeah.
Like this kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. It's bringing up that generation that we need to go, don't worry, everybody, I got this.
That's amazing. Like, children learn very hands-on. They learn through seeing and feeling. And the way we do school doesn't work for everyone, particularly with PhD and stuff. And it's just so unfair. People and neurodivergent people as well. I always hated the way we did school. It doesn't match the way people learn.
No,
it doesn't. It was created to make them be little worker bees for the man, work for the, yeah. And now I'm like at 8, 9 years old, I'm like, You're really good at that. You should have your own business. Like, you want me
Nice.
to
I like
wanna
that.
help me put in some marketing
Let's go to
ideas?
Shark
Like,
Tank.
yeah. Yeah, I do have a little boy in my class who's going international. He's like a yo-yo pro. He's gonna be
Mm.
like a champ. And
Oh
then a
my gosh.
skateboard pro, a little skateboarder dude, and then an
Wow.
artist, and it's like
Oh,
we're finding their fire and fueling it. Really. We're just not putting it out. And that goes with paranormal stuff. I could have been, you did not see a Bigfoot, you liar, and then shame myself to, oh wow, you saw a multidimensional being in the Midwest or in the Pacific Northwest. How exciting for you. And I'm like, I did. It's such a different thing.
Sure,
But
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Heidi has some history in obviously California, and then has her history here in Chicago and Wisconsin and Door County.
Mhm.
I think your sister still lives out there.
She's still there. She was in Madison for a long time,
Very cool.
but she's still there, and that's where my dad's roots are, and that's where a lot of like, I feel there was military abductions and stuff. Like there was some dark abduction-y stuff happening, and then also time in Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest. That was the childhood like fairy realm. But then I've had sightings out here, California,
Yeah.
and even in 2021 when I went back to Washington for a little trip, a little Sasquatch encounter, and like I'm tapped in. It's all about being tapped in, I think, connected to source. And
funny when
if we,
yeah.
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
sorry. When you look
No,
at
you're fine.
the map of Bigfoot sightings, it's so concentrated in Oregon and Washington, and then
There's a lot.
California. It's scattered, but it's pretty prevalent in California too. So you've
It
been
is.
you've lived in Oregon, now
Mhm,
currently you're in California.
mhm, mhm.
But so you saw Bigfoot in Oregon, right?
Yes, that was the first time as a little girl, just on a drive, and, I mean, like, that iconic image you'd have of one walking through a field, but again, had I been shushed or dismissed, I think I would have buried it and just said, "Okay," I would have, "Oh, that was my imagination," but I wasn't, so I kept it at the forefront. So going through all these different communities I've gone through and, living this podcast life, you run into these peeps and I'm like, I got a story. And when it's received by community who believes you and hears in you, it's fun. You compare notes. You learn more about it, you learn about the energy or you hear about someone else's encounter and go, wow, that's so different from mine. I wonder why that is. Or I mean, it's just research, and we all have these human experience and these stories to tell and share, and it helps us find the others and build community. So those little tales aside, there's the Fury stuff, the ET stuff, working in La La Land here. I've been in LA here now for 24 years, and you got some lizards, and you got the clones, and you got the angels on Earth. Literally, you walk in, you're like, oh wow, yeah, like all these kinds of beings. But I know it takes a type of person to see that, and I don't think that means a special person. I mean it's someone who's done a lot of work, who continues to do a lot of work, and really who believes in it, who can tap into past the veil, and who's like, no, I feel that. And the exciting thing is these communities allow us to find so many more of those kinds of people, and we're all walks of life. We're all walks of life. So with all these stories, that was me like in the 80s, 90s, when the I think we talked, Dustin, about this with the little
Yeah.
scoops in the arms, and
Yep.
people were getting
Yep.
abducted and they'd have the implants and scoops. I remember being a kid in the 80s going, Mom, how can the people across the world have the same story as the people here? And there's no smartphones and cell phones and all that. It's like it's too coinky dinky,
Yeah.
So I'm jumping all over, but yeah, giddy.
Very good point. You're bringing up very good points. And I wanted to talk to you about fairies and I want to talk to you about what you saw because I don't have a lot of experience with fairies myself. I know one time, this is random, but one time I love being in the woods. I don't know if about you, if you love being in the woods,
Yeah,
but it energizes me. It makes me feel like I'm in a magical place.
good.
It just feels like in the woods, that's where magic happens. So I like to be in the woods. I went out one time for God, a long, long bike ride on the trail. And I came back and there were like weird chicken bones on my front steps that weren't there when I left. And I was like, and I made this joking post on Facebook. I was like, who's like doing voodoo on me? And then this one woman who's like a psychic, messaged me and she was like, listen, I'm picking up on this isn't like voodoo. This is like a fairy. And you do need to be like, they left this for you as an offering. And you do need to be careful with accepting offerings from fairies because they expect something in return. And I was
Mm.
like, whoa, really? That's interesting. I didn't know, I don't know a lot about fairies, but I've seen um images on like YouTube and stuff of what they might look like. What did you see?
Mine experience were more like orbs, almost like your lights behind you.
Yeah, yeah.
And and I felt safe. Like I felt good around them. I felt like I was communicating with them. Like I do talk to on shows now or guests have come on mine and they're like, never go to when they're calling you, never follow them. And they're more naughty than nice kind of thing. But for
Yeah,
some reason, I felt like these were my buddies. Same
Mhm.
yeah.
and same thing. It's the woods. I liked the woods, and I had respect for the woods. I always honored the woods. I just picked up after things. I made little nooks and nests and took care of things. And perhaps that little energy exchange I had with nature was like, oh, she's cool. She's one of us. She doesn't mean any harm. She can play. She gets to play with us. But the little trickster part of the fairies, I remember some bits in my little tree house where I'd clean everything up and then turn around and come back, and then there'd be things down again or like messy, and I'd be like, "You guys, like, don't do that," And then, so that was kind of the cute aspect of it all, and I was this innocent little girl about it all. Wasn't too privy to the dark, I guess I should say, going on. However, the pixelated orb thing is what I remember the most. And then when that came online for me again, I believe it was 2022. That was more of the Midwest, and I was at a gathering as an adult. So this is not long ago, already with kids and everything, and I've been really unpacking a lot more of my experiences and sharing it a lot more and talking to more people. So it was very fresh, all these perspectives, all this conversation. It was just really the frequency I was at. And I get back to my little room and I see the orbs everywhere because I was even calling it out. I'm like, okay, now I'm an adult, a sober adult. Like, let me have these. Let me have another. Come on, show yourself. Let's do this. I'm at the right place, the right time. This would be a great time to bring me back to one. And I go in my little room and there's this little Orby everywhere. And I was just like, like, is this for me? And I was like, okay. And then I was a little stinkery. I'm like, well, are you going to be in here when I take my bath? I was made a joke like that. And then they all flew out the window. And I was like, oh, rats. Can't mess with them, can't tease them. But I was sober and consciously aware enough to be like, I cannot deny this. So
Wow.
yeah, I can only have the conversations of experience, and whether it's received or not, it's not out of my hands. So I just have to be like, this is what it is. So even on our campus, like outdoor, last year I had an outdoor classroom, which was really special, really neat. Two of my little girls fully invested, involved, making little fairy houses all the time. And a couple times one of them would be down, and I'm like, give it to the fairies, like go to that little house, give them a little thought, say, I need a little boost today. And then something really sweet would happen for them, like they'd find a petal on their seat, or little things where I'm like, I never tell them, oh, that was a fairy. I just am like, you never know, like keep your imagination open. You just don't know, but you did ask for something and now you received it. That's pretty special. And
Mm.
so I see these kids now working with nature, like, oh, if we, you know, give to it a little bit, it might give a little back, and we can have this little balance energy exchange. So yeah.
know you mentioned that was it Oregon that you left where you felt sad when you were a child? You felt sad about
Yeah.
what?
That was really hard to leave there. And I mean, I know we left for certain reasons. For my parents, it was really for their health and well-being. But for me, I was like, why? Like, this place is amazing. And then where we went, I never felt home. Like, I felt like home was somewhere else. And so it took me a long time to settle in. And it was at least maybe the second summer we were home is when we started doing Door County. It was Chicago, and then we'd go up to Door County. And that's when I started feeling the presence again in the woods, but I didn't feel at home. Like, I wasn't feeling very safe. I was getting scared. I had like a lot of weird things happen at night with the dreams, or when I thought I was dreaming, and shadow figures in the door, and, sleep paralysis. And then that little lightning, I always talk about the white lightning with the sleep paralysis. And The thing though is later come to find out my mom was having experiences too. So, and she would have missing time and, all these quinky dinks. So I'm like, what is about this place? So the last two times I'd gone there, Dustin, I mean, there wasn't much of activation. I would be like, okay, I'm here, all my
Right.
protections up. Now my daughter's here, got her protection up. But also like, but I'm not feeling what it that presence anymore. So who knows what happened, but it was this like, why did we leave Pacific Northwest? Why the majesty, the majestic terrain, and my little elemental friends and stuff. And so, but then I fell into my own and got into high school, and all these, 3D life happened. And yeah, and then once I just had a drive, I wanted to be back west, and it was the blizzard of 99. So November 2000, I moved out west. Yeah, I just drove with some film buddies, and I'm like, I got to go out west, and
Hmm.
nature's my big thing too. I have to go to the beach or go, ground myself somewhere just to bring it back, and trying to do that more often than not. And now we're in LA, but not of it. We're like in the outskirts and kind of up on a hill, so it's kind of nice and grounding. And I got the snow on 30 minutes and beach 30 minutes, and I feel like I'm in a good place. I'm where I'm supposed to be. So, but I do tell family if anything goes down, I'll probably just start going north until I can get to the northwest. So, yeah, those are
Sounds
all my
like you live in
journeys.
a beautiful area. I have to admit, I'm very jealous of people who live in warm, sunny, lovely, happy areas.
Why aren't you going on
Time of
vacation
year.
here soon?
Who, me?
Where are you going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chrissy's going
Oh,
on
I'm
vacation.
going to Florida.
Yeah, there you
Woo!
go.
Nice.
I am
Awesome.
getting out of here. I have a very hard time with winters here.
Yeah.
Very hard
Yeah.
time, but because I
Yeah.
love
I was
nature so
done.
much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Green.
Yes. Everyone's like, you moved from the Midwest. Don't you miss the seasons? I'm like, I got the seasons, bitch. Like, I
Yeah.
can go
We get
45
earthquakes out
minutes.
here.
I know. I can go 45 minutes and collect every color leaf of a tree, all of them. And then I
Yeah.
can go put my toes in the sand, but then I can go snow skiing that night.
Oh
Like
my
I
gosh,
can,
it's
I got my
perfect.
seasons all in one
Perfect.
day. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that quake thing, that was crazy. That was I didn't know about it. I was in the classroom. Now they're saying too, the plates, the ground didn't shift. Otherwise we would
Huh.
have had the wave. So they're like it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
blast. And now they're saying some
Whoa.
radiation blast or something.
Wow.
I upped
Wow.
my iodine this week. We'll just say that. Who knows? A lot of tomfoolery, but I like to think too, though. There's a lot of us that are here that are anchored in so hard that we're just like, no, quakes be gone. My
That,
Popeye's coming out.
that's awesome.
Heidi, you mentioned sleep paralysis, and it's interesting
Yes.
because I don't get sleep paralysis anymore, but I grew up in a very active haunted house, and I used to get sleep paralysis all the time. How do you feel about like sleep paralysis demons? And people talk about hags that visit you and they see things out of the corner of their eye. What's your opinion on that
I
stuff?
know. I know. It's so hard. And I'm going to filter out all the things I've heard because I've shared the story and people are like, well, it was this or it was that. And I'm like, I don't know. We can speculate. But
Sure.
what I do know, it was happening around the same experience I was having as the lightning in my room and then the shadowy figures and things. And it was, like this pressure in your chest, wanting to talk, feeling you're consciously awake, but you can't speak. And I've seen the images and the things of something on you, pressed on you. But what resonates more to me is like abductions and hybrid programs and, that kind of messing with you because of the experiences my mom was having too. I just can't not relate it. She was, wombs, missing womb and, her stories when it aligned with my timeline, it wasn't like we were getting visitations from your ancestors or anything. It was like we need this DNA or something. So it felt like it didn't feel safe. It didn't feel good. I didn't feel in control. I felt like whether it was something physically on me or not, something else was in control of my breathing and my everything else. So I've heard all the things, but all I can just remember is, yeah, but when you're in that bed and you're in that feeling and you can't not just, I don't know, go dark. So I do have to say though, 2019 there was a conference out here. It was called Ventura Dimensions of Disclosure, and I work at a lot of these things. Volunteer. I like to schmooze, and and one of the nights. It was a really weird night. Like I walked one of the very well-known speakers back to her room. She was walking like an octopus. Like I couldn't control her, and I'm just like, is this person like otherworldly too? I still have this.
I'm
She
just thinking
kinda
how an
annoys me.
octopus was walking across the
Yeah.
floor.
I was like, and I was like horrified. And then, but at the same time, like, this isn't that person. Like something took over this person.
Yeah.
And this was late, but because I wasn't on the clock, but I was one of the volunteers up and out in the schmoozing, and they're like, can you help this person? Anyway, it shifted something in me of like, whoa, like I just felt this like, whoa, that night, crazy sleep paralysis. I woke up the next morning. I had a roommate for this hotel. I was half out of the bed, all my legs out and just laying, but like feeling not being able to call her name. She got in the shower and I was just like, I'm half off the bed. And then the first thing I went to, it was James Gilliland of Isetti, and he's like, just so you all know, the hotel was hijacked last night. And we had a lot of entities here. A lot of things happened. So let's do a big clearing. And I was just like, oh yeah. And then I kept watching, I keep watching the speaker to this day. Like, where's the gel? When does she morph into something else? Like, so
Whoa, that's
no
trippy
offense
as
to
fuck.
her. That's not. Yeah. So, wait, that all came from sleep paralysis. So yeah, it happened again. But I was around those kind of
Shit.
people, So
Well,
from a kid to like an adult, but you're surrounded by those kind of places. I feel there's a lot of hijackers. There's a lot of entities, cloak beans,
so let's
Star
say,
Wars
Heidi,
bars.
you've been in some shady spots since like the Hollywood scenes we talked about.
Yeah.
Like she's been in some
Yeah.
crazy parties where
Yeah, tell
it's
me about
like,
the craziest party you've been to.
oh
I
man,
want
there's
to
some
know.
like Diddy party type shit.
Oh, tell
Well,
me
no,
more.
I didn't make it to it. I
Oh, I
had
know
something
you
take
were.
over me.
I
Yeah,
know.
something
I heard
took
about
over
that
me to get
story.
out of the
Yeah.
car. I literally like
Oh,
we
yes, you.
stopped at a gas station, go in to get like our roadies or whatever, and I just kept walking. And my
Yeah.
girlfriend didn't change her tune with me, and I was just like, "Why the hell did you do that?" Like the next few days, never talked to me again. But they were different, and I'm like, I don't know. Like it came over me.
Yeah.
I was told what to do,
She's
and
like,
I
I
was just like,
got, I got jizzed in the face about with 10 dudes.
Oh my God.
Like what the fuck?
Well,
well,
Heidi,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
you seem like a very high vibrational person, and I guess when you are vibrating that high, other like feelings of fear and
Oh, sure.
resentment, they don't really resonate with you, so you don't feel them when you're vibrating high. And I feel like that's probably the reason why you had a natural protection
Sure.
that came over you and you avoided that situation.
Street smarts came over her. She's like,
Street
oh,
Yeah.
smart.
spider
Oh,
sense, like,
I was like,
Get
I was on
spider
the
webs
game
on my
show,
face.
Street Smarts. Yeah, the protection. I think a really big one was in Chicago, and it was like it's after hours. Sun's already up, and it's like part 3 going on, and we're supposed to go to this hotel hangout with another friend of mine, and we're out front, and it was everything rushed over me. This is before I moved to LA, so it was already something over me going like. And I was like, always want to keep it going. Let's go. How far can we push it? But I was like,
Where's
what
that
are we
yayo
doing?
going?
Yeah. Well, this gal, she wound up going up to this party. I'm like, no, no. I pretended getting sick, and she was like, it's going to take me down. And I wound up not going up. Turns out it's like all like the Chicago Bears were up there, and all this stuff was going on up there. And yeah, it was another girl that just kind of flipped on me after the fact, like. How did you not? And I go, well, you chose to go. Like you could have
Right.
left with me. You wanted to go. That's not a point to be a wingman. If your instinct is like, get the fuck out, then you got to get out. And I lost that friendship over it. But to this day, I never regret it. I was
No.
like, I had more fun dancing on the tables than I did, what I would have seen. But there were a lot of close calls that I can't deny the voice, the guardian. the thing that was within me to be like, don't, you're not, don't go this way. And yeah, it's like a numbing. It's like a ringing in the ear numbing where you're just can hear your heartbeat and you're just like I'm not going. I'm not going. So how am I going to go this way? Well, you just walk. Just start walking. And that's what each time it'd be like, just go. And you don't even look at the other person like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to this. And yeah. But it's so funny because in all these other instances, I am the first to kind of put myself out there to help someone else. Yeah, of course I'll go through that, watch you get a root canal. Like, I don't know, like just these things I put myself out there to do with someone to appease them and help them and be by their side. Super fiercely loyal Scorpio. But those particular instances, it was like, I don't give a shit. I'm out. Like, it was just, that's how it was.
Sure.
But
This is interesting. I feel like you must be very in tune with your spirit guides. Is this true?
Yeah, I feel that. I know when I get lost and I'm not in tune, and it's when I'm in denial, like self-sabotaging myself of my own successes, or, or I'm not being healthy or something. That's really when I just don't get it in tune anymore. So when I'm really in line, I'm like, holy shit, this is like this is like teamwork. This is really cool. That's the magic, and it's not just, I don't think just guides and ancestors, it's nature. It's maybe that's the elemental fairy realm and that connection, but it's how nature answers you, the animal kingdom answers you. Like, we can all commune together and we all really have each other's back, but nothing can really physically stop you. You do have to make that choice. Sovereignty in your choices, really.
Sure. Yeah, just your outlook and on life is just awesome, and your energy is amazing.
Good energy. Nothing but good energy.
Thanks.
It's intoxicating.
I try.
Jesus Christ.
I try. I've had my feisty bits. My favorite line is, I can cut a bitch. So, but it's like the mentor guardianship I'm taking seriously now. Like, I'm like, okay, no, even if you're out in a store somewhere, if there's a child around, they can have an opportunity to look up to you. So I really take those moments seriously. Aside from I made a joke on a picture. I tagged you, Dustin. I'm like, I'm going from cleavage to carrots. I talk about healthy kids after this. So got to do it balance. But
that's awesome. I'm so glad that you're like that too at the same time. That's great.
Got a little bit of everything. But I tell you, that high vibe thing annoys the shit out of some people. It really does. I've had people in the community turn on me so fast because I raised my hand to participate, or because I got a little more active and involved, and just they couldn't shut the door fast enough. And I was like, someone's a little feisty or scared of my vibe.
Little jealousy. I bet you can feel some. I can feel you can feel some people's envy from afar, but no. I think people live vicariously through you. I think the people who hate on you watch you all the time. Like, they
Isn't that most likely? Yeah,
I wouldn't be doubtful. Well, that's why I throw in little snarky bits here and there just in case.
But no, again, your energy enough doesn't like bring any. Again, if it's their own jealousy that gets them in this kind of like wilderness. Remember, like, I think we had a talk one time with Aurora, and you had a breakup with a friend, and you really were heartbroken over that, and you actually expressed your emotions. So
left field.
Yeah, no, that was so cool that you opened up to me that way, and I just thought I was more connected and more of a friend to you that way. In a sense, I was like, fuck, feel free to cry on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? That's really cool. It means a lot. No, again, it's sad. It's just weird that people get on this weird thought process of how they should view you, or they just something you said that one day it's just weird. It's really, and again, you don't go out and do. I don't think you focus on anybody else but yourself and your projects, and you just kind of like you do have these video vlogs that you just have in the like just film your life, and like you're so interesting because you have so many different hobbies and you're so talented in different fields of different shit, and you're just looking like a Playboy model here. Like, look at it.
You're like the cutest person ever. You are.
You really are.
You guys are so sweet.
You're also knowledgeable and very interesting to watch as well. I can see why so many people love you.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Again.
very kind. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
When you were saying that, Dustin, I wanted to share too. You know what hurt the most with that situation is I
Sure.
felt duped. I felt like I missed something. Like I should have called that out. I thought I was really good at like finding the fraudulent behaviors of people are
Sure.
being used. So
Sure.
I felt so
Sure.
used. But then what hurt even more is realizing if it is someone's insecurity, if it is someone feeling that, I felt so heartbroken for them. Why can't they see themselves the way I see them? And I'm like, why put us anywhere like this? I see nothing but equal with everybody. And
Sure.
that was my bit on set. That's why I worked only by referrals for like 15 years. Is I treated the director like I treated the PA. Like everybody got the same blast energy and the same love and the same demeanor, and they were shocked. And I'm like, why would they get anything better than you? You know?
Exactly.
And then you realize when someone it doesn't like you just for being yourself. I was just like,
Exactly.
well,
That's
I
so
feel
weird.
really
I hate
sad
that.
about for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks to be you. And that
Exactly.
you're missing out.
You've been missing out big time.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's a pleasure to be like in your presence in general. So again, just like,
So sweet.
no, I'm
Good
serious. I
energy.
wish
I gotta do this more often.
Yeah, just keep
Yeah.
squeezing them together.
The
That's the thing.
second Dustin wasn't sweaty, he was doing all right, okay? And then you
Yeah.
came on, and his beads started forming on his head. I was like, Dustin, are you okay?
I'm
Oh my
blushing
God,
over
you
here.
crack me
She's
up.
got me all hot and flustered.
Yes, I
Like
saw that.
the
Got
flow
very
of
sweaty.
ecstasy is just going through my
Um,
veins.
I'm your Mrs. Robinson.
Straight up. And I'm all about that.
you do look very Elvira tonight. I do love your look.
I
Yeah,
love it.
straight
Very
up.
Elvira.
It's one of my favorite. I love that. Like, yeah, it's a wrap dress, and I got my little wing sleeves and
Or
things. And my
Lily
little.
Munster too, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'll take
Ah,
that. I'll take.
I can see
Yeah.
it.
I'll take it all. That means I colored my roots well.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Not saying you have gray hair, but you're both
I
beautiful
do though.
women.
I do.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm
You
not ready
mentioned
to
on
go
one
there
of
yet.
your interviews. You're like, I color my hair.
I get blunt.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, not to get too deep and heavy right now, but you
Ooh.
mentioned that you felt some trauma, I think from past life stuff, maybe. Have you ever tried past life regression therapy?
I had a QHHT, so I don't know if it was I had it didn't take me to past lives. It took me through a lot of healing. But I did have Taylor Moon. Are you familiar with Taylor Moon? She's in Florida. I love her. She's just a sweet piece. She does cards and she does the quantum hypnosis therapy. But I guess that wouldn't be, would it? Past life is literally going through your past lives, huh? The gal that broke up with me kind of thing, she tried to put me through one, but then I got a curse on my afterwards. So I don't know if that was what she was really doing. I had a moment
hater.
I was like, is that? But I had a really interesting moment. I was taken somewhere that was very biblical. And it felt like I was the shutout one being shunned and then ultimately died in this ravine and no one found me. And I wound up able to put myself like, I even think I was a man, laid myself to rest really. So that was a quick one. But again, I was fed a lot. I don't know. Maybe I have to try it again, probably with someone I don't know, someone that doesn't know me,
Right.
because it makes me doubt some of the stuff because of our situation. But that Taylor Moon one, that wasn't it really necessarily past life. I spent all my prep time, like I just want to get relaxed enough, the busy bee brain, so I could do it. So I was really like, I bet I could go further if I just shut the fuck up in my head. So I have to get better at calming and preparing for those things. Have you done that? Have you done the past life?
I haven't, and I'm so curious because I've come across different, how something in life just triggers you and you're like, I know this situation. I've been here before, but it's not my life. This current life does not match up to why I feel this way about the situation, but I know I've been here, or I've experienced this very bizarre thing. Or even with people, I'll be like, I know this person, I know them, but where do I know them? And then you having weird connections with people. So I would
Yes.
be so curious to look back and see what the hell is going on. But
Yeah.
I talked about it in one of the podcasts that got deleted, Dustin, but I was watching this guy who does a lot of past life regression therapy, and they say even something like migraines in this life can be due to head trauma in your past life.
Oh,
Oh,
Like things that they
I've heard that too. Yeah.
this
I heard.
life.
I also heard
Yeah.
birthmarks are like is where you
Yeah.
got
Oh, yeah.
you died or got shot or like an arrow or if you have like, a
That
big
makes total
birthmark and
sense.
half your face is like got blown off or some shit. I
Oh,
don't
geez, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have heard the same. And to be honest, I have not had a session with someone. I would love to do that. However, I've had instances, like I get really into. It's been a long time, but I was really into healing and body work. And one of my favorite mom friends down in Hollywood there, she has her own sacred room, and once you walk in it, you just went through like some portal or shit. It's just like, heal me, help me. And she does acupuncture and energy work and all this stuff, and it's like, you say that I want the special, and she'll just do this extra stuff.
Ooh, the
And she
special.
was doing she like she I
Sorry,
shouldn't have done
my
this
mind
with
went.
hands.
vroom.
I'm sorry, Shannon.
No, keep going.
Well, no,
Sorry.
she did all the nails, and I was kept having these particular issues, and she started just mumbling, but she was talking about an outfit I was wearing, and it sounded like it was taking me back to Hungary and royalty with Hungary, and that I was in a family and I was thrown off a cliff because I have this
Oh.
crazy heights thing and this
Oh.
crazy
Me too.
crazy
I hate
like
heights.
where I'm like feel like I'm just gonna be shoved,
Me
Karen
too.
Canyon. Holy crap.
I still have that. I do it. I
It's
can't go up on heights because I feel like
something
something like
past. Yeah.
unknown force is gonna
Oh.
throw me over that fucker.
Unknown for it, yep. And I have the visual of, the rocks and the waves, and it's like it takes me somewhere. So
That's
something
so
was
funny you said
unlocked.
that, Heidi.
Isn't that crazy? So
Yeah,
that could be a
the
connection.
same similar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then so afterwards, she was dripping with sweat. And I like, what was that thing about the dress? She goes, I don't remember anything I said. And I was like, okay. And so I went home and wrote it all out. But then I started watching with my giant. I'm married to a giant 6 years now. And we're watching Vikings, and it was like, we're like looking at each other like, oh, that's where I met you. It's something about watching the Viking demeanor and stuff.
Huh.
It was just like, okay. And just, I don't know, this carnal thing comes out.
Chrissy dresses up like a
really,
barbarian sometimes.
I wish.
She
I
does.
got him the big fur thing for
Oh,
Halloween.
really? I was
He
gonna
won't
say
wear it.
Chrissy does. Chrissy likes to dress up like a barbarian.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like
Cool.
myself. Tonight, I'm an old geriatric Western man. I felt like a geriatric
love
Western
it.
man
Man.
today. I love a good bolo tie. I truly
A
do.
bolo.
People don't wear enough bolo ties, Dustin.
So you wear it well.
I would rock one without
You-
a shirt.
I still think so you debuted your red sweatshirt or your red zip up with the tats when I was
Yeah.
interviewing you and Aaron. Remember I
Yeah.
went postal on that show. I couldn't pull. I got totally attacked on that show. I went down
Really?
for like 2 weeks after.
What
And it was
happened?
during our show it started. I don't know, but somebody sure didn't like us talking about Wisconsin UFOs and
Wow.
hot
Jesus,
spots.
really?
I
Weird.
always think of that. That's the thing. You can throw your perspective and make something totally like associate with something or be like, whatever. And once in a while I'm like, oh, it was just a coincidence. And others I'm like, no, that was a fucking attack. An attack.
Right.
Whatever.
Whatever. I read
No,
that.
I like to have it. I like to go back in your show or just have you on my show multiple times. I just love having you here because
I'll
your
be
energy
back.
and your storytelling is amazing, and you just have, just great. I was gonna say too. Do you hear about that supposable UFO or alien invasion on December 3rd or 4th? It was. Did you hear about that?
I only heard
Supposedly?
about that through, was it Space Out Radio? Somebody posted like, well, I made it through the invasion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm missing all these things now and dates
Yeah.
now. If I hear a date down the road, I
thought
really
it was a
dismiss it.
prediction back in like the early 200s or something like that from a
Oh.
guy who did some calculations and something like that and
Oh.
all that stuff like that. Again, it was kind of like those like Y2K type shit, Yeah. I don't know.
But what day was that? Was that the day of our big boom in the water that they're calling an
Oh.
earthquake? But now they're like, no, that was some weather. That was a war. That was a weapon.
Mm.
Because it's some
Or
nuclear, some
third- was that
reactive thing.
Tuesday?
Oh
Tuesday?
yeah, I
had
think
no
that was
idea.
the day.
Yeah.
Huh, you never know. See, I could easily put it together and then I can title a show and be like, oh, intel on this. I'm like, no, I'm just speculating. I'm just speculating.
Exactly. We're all just theorizing here and what we hear
Theorizing.
what we
Yeah.
hear down the grapevine.
Yeah.
But no, it's really interesting. And then Congress still talking about UFOs. That's still a hot topic. And more whistleblowers coming out.
I still really feel like it's just this ongoing presence here. Like they're already involved in, the hybrid things happened and we're fully immersed at this point. It's just they can't really say anything yet.
And then
people go crazy.
Did you see the footage and pictures at the Manchester UFO of this big sphere the size of a
Oh, I didn't see that.
Big, it was
right,
a little bit bigger than probably bigger than a beach ball. But anyways, it came down and landed in front of a few airplanes, commercial airplanes. And people were just like, what the fuck? And it just flew up into the sky and people are filming it from the ground and people are filming it from the inside of the cockpit. Yeah, it's just
really,
it could just like some alien drone just comes down, just sits and flies right back up. Exactly. So again, is it the slow drip of disclosure? They're just gonna keep popping up like this. It's just gonna of course, because like
I love it.
If it just keeps popping up in the news or just in the UFO community. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I'm definitely here for it. Yeah, and because for every 5,000 people that go and they look the other way or they say, oh, it's AI. It's that one person. Like I think I was telling you, Dustin, I had a crew member, Chrissy, write me. Like I walked away like 4 years ago, but they wrote me this year being like, wow, crafty lady, weren't you right about that UFO stuff? I'm hearing all the news. And he's like fully into it now. He's like, can't get enough information. And so I'm like, dropping those red pills and planting seeds, just normalizing it a little bit. But I think there's been so much the AI thing, like there's so much that people immediately go, well, how can I debunk this? Everybody wants to debunk things right away instead of leaning into it like, what if?
What's the open-mindedness? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hate that. Just closed-minded. Science comes first. There's always a logical reason. It's like, okay, like explain to me how the fucking pyramids were built. All right. Like tell me how other like megalithic structures, and you look at their toolbox and you see like just shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no.
I'm like, there's not enough levers and pulleys.
And at the same fucking time, these ancient people are sketching on the walls that they're working with hand in hand with gods, right?
Yeah.
And riddle me that.
That's what I think.
And then they're like, that's just myth. That's just some myth shit. But Jesus, yeah, he's walking on water. That's some shit right there. That's for real. The fuck? It's just
good point,
Dustin. Horrible way out. I don't understand. It bothers me.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here making these points, and for other people who agree.
It upsets people sometimes. It does. It upsets people. But I've noticed that even the general population, like not even just us weirdos anymore, if you talk to random people on the street, they do kind of admit, they're like, yeah, it does seem like the government's coming out with some information and I'm covering my ears. I'm trying not to think about it. But yeah, I admit, so more people are accepting.
Yeah, no, I'd say more than half I think maybe 75% of the population in the United States believe that UFOs exist.
You do? You think that's where we're at? That's pretty good. Yeah,
I think maybe.
I can see that.
I think in the 80s we were at like 60 or something like that.
Oh,
so I think more now, like now Congress is talking about, like, why wouldn't like people who actually talk real politics and real life problems, right? We're actually talking about UFOs. I mean, sadly, we're not talking about ghosts or Bigfoot or any other cryptic creatures, but again, UFOs are really swinging out there and putting themselves out there like, hey,
well, how could we ignore it at this point? How could we ignore it?
Look at me, I'm an ET.
Yeah,
Chris is an ET. That's one reason why I have her on their show.
It is, and I thought that was freaking hilarious. When I found out.
It's awesome.
Straight up. Like, who comes looking like that from
Well,
Earth.
we vibed, but we also vibed. We vibed right away, Dustin.
Well,
And
that's
I was like,
It's
this is
all a
awesome.
vibe.
We're both nerds and we
we're
love this
nerds.
stuff and we have a passion for this.
We do.
Now we
Yes.
can meet people like Heidi and talk about it. This is
Yes.
amazing.
I know. We're making magic. We're doing the woo.
Yay.
We're putting in that woo. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is great.
That's awesome.
No, it is. It's really fun. And then how was your Halloween? I think our last interview, you were getting ready for Halloween.
Yeah.
Let's kind of recap really quick on. I think you had some stuff you did with the kids.
Oh my God, it was so fun. Yes. It was really cool. I got dolled up. Well, I told you one of the girls calls me Dumbledore, and I was like,
Yes.
cool, I'll take it. So I kind of went that route, and we wound up making our own potions. So they had to measure, but they were all emotional potion or something sensitive, something potions of the emotional kind. So it was like gratitude, and I forgot. Really cute ones. And then they'd have to add like, a quarter of this and this so they could measure
Yes.
and do math, and it makes it all hippy dippy. But they write a really beautiful lesson book too. But it's like glitter, and I used oil and coloring, and it was so fun. It was like a little science experiment. But I stayed in character that whole main lesson. It was like 2 hours of like like the whole witchy thing, and like, oh darling, look at your beautiful book. Like I was just went hard. Look, I'm already clicking my pencil. It was so fun. They were just like, they were looking at it was so cute. And then so the Halloween was beautiful. And then we went to recess, and I told my assist, I'm like, I'll join you in a second. And just like the year before, I went and I changed, and I came back and I ran to the picnic. We always picnic lunch. I'm like, I'm sorry. I go, what I missed? Like, you weren't. And then some of the kids really were like, well, you missed your aunt from another dimension, Auntie Popp. Like, because I didn't know, I was making my stories up as I went along. It was all about a school I taught at. It was a school I taught at with a moat around it. And you can only, it was very mystical and really cool, but everything had like this humanity lesson. So I pulled it off. And now we have, this is our last week before we go on Christmas break. So I'm on for, so this is our last week. We do a gift exchange. Everything is about selflessly gifting others and illuminating others. So coming into a room, and you can either activate the room, or you can like break it dark and bring it down. And so we're doing all these little lessons in that. And I am going to set up this little puppet show, and I have the lights and little candles. I'm going to make it really cozy and tea time, and it's going to be really sweet. And the stories we tell are very, ancient, and it's kind of cool. So we're doing all this handwork for our parents and making little angels and things. But, right after Halloween, though, I went into my family tree block. So we worked on our family trees, but it was all about bringing in the ancestors and looking at our lineage, our bloodlines, but seeing how all across the world that we're from, like our parts of us, like our past lives, like we come from around this whole planet, and then some off, but we all met here in the physical and the here and now in LA. Isn't that crazy cool? And the kids are like started to get really interested in where they came from. And all these parents are writing me and telling me verbally how blessed they were to have this project, because they did it together and they could heal old family wounds. The parents came in and presented with the kids, and they gave like a snack of their favorite food recipe from their family. And they I had to tell them, don't go into your whole like so-and-so born so-and-so. It was like, tell us some crazy stories, like really something crazy cool. And there was this girl that came in, and her great grandma was trafficked in like the Middle East in, the early 1900s or something. And a long lost relative found her like 6 years later in a bathhouse in Turkey. And it was like this crazy story. And you're thinking, can children handle this? But they were like, reunion and family, and love wins, and you find each other. And it was fascinating. So sorry, I get very excited, but
God,
it
so cool.
was
That is
really
super
cool. And then, leading into the season of light and illumination, I'm like, let's keep our ancestors and our guardians with us. And we honored them, of course, through Dia de los Muertes, but then with our family tree, I go, let's honor them with, recognizing their bloodlines. And now with the holidays, it's like, I just teaching them to be stronger every day because you have a team with you at all times, And so, yeah, their little shoulders are getting, they're all friends. It's really sweet. There's no cliques in the class.
That's
You know,
so
This is
cool.
amazing.
Fuck yeah.
It reminds me of like Professor X's School of Mutants, only you're raising spiritually evolved people.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it there. Yeah.
I love that.
I love it.
Oh man.
That's
I
really
bet,
fun.
Cool.
I bet Heidi
Yeah,
Popp
thank you.
can surprise herself by bending a spoon, but just like looking at it.
They
you
ask
tried
each
it?
other. I've tried. They ask each other. We do talk telekinesis. Like we do talk about moving things from across the room. And
Chrissy's all about telekinesis.
Oh, I'm so passionate
cool.
about it. So passionate.
Awesome.
I believe that everyone has the capability of telekinesis, but we have been trained not to use that part of our brains from a very early age.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh gosh, you're gonna love this. I'm so sorry if those who are watching me again on here because I share it all the time on different shows. But there was a girl in my class. Actually, I was the assist 2 years ago, and she was having difficulties with a boy in the class. And we're at recess, and she and I can talk telepathy, like we can talk to each other. Like I've tested it. So
That's
we're
so
on the
cool.
playground, and I'm watching her watch the boy play across the field for like a soccer field. And she's just watching and watching and watching. And then all of a sudden she's like, ugh. And and the boy like does this nosedive on the other side of the field. And I was like, I saw it. Did you do that? Did you? She's like, I'm just like,
wow.
I'm like, there's another way of, if you don't care for the boy, there's probably another way other than like hurting him or, knocking him down. And she's like, I know, but I'm like, this shit's real.
It is real. They teach people in the FBI and the CIA, when you're following someone, don't look at the back of their head because they will sense it. They actually teach look at the ground or look away, but don't look at the back of their head because people have something it's ESP. You can sense when someone's looking at you from behind.
Sure.
And telepathy is fairly well established, I would say. Most people believe in telepathy in anyone I talk to, they say they acknowledge it,
Yeah.
So
we had a little boy turn his double digits this week. He's my jungle boy. He like never wears shoes. He's always around me.
And he barks like a dog.
He's so in tune. He's so in tune. He's the yo-yo champ. But his parents came in and his dad was like, they wanted to share fun facts with the kids, and kids were asking questions like, what was his favorite food? Or, and then someone's like, what's something special, about you guys or something? He goes, well, he and I can talk with telepathy. And half of the kids were like getting it, and the other kids are like asking me later, what does that mean? But I thought it was so cool because that's clearly a family that normalizes this as well.
That's really cool, actually.
I love my son. We're telepathy. Yeah.
and
my kids hate it. And I know one of them listening right now. So I'm like, I heard that.
Reminds me of the movie Carrie. Like how she discovers her telepathy and gets back at the girls that teased her and shit like
telekinesis.
Yeah. And the fact that she does her research in the library, I think that was just so cool. Like that she's just in tuning in her own powers.
She didn't use her powers for good, but it's okay.
Those girls did really push that poor girl.
Yeah, I know.
At that age, yeah. But that little girl on the playground, I definitely had that talk with her. I'm like, now that you know you can do this, when you choose to do it, it was a choice to do that. Couldn't you choose to use it for the better? So
yeah. You want to have
choices.
This next guy like, why is this gun going into my face?
Yeah.
And this girl's over here like,
oh my god. It could be potentially very dangerous as people if we did fully evolve our skills.
All right.
Yeah. True.
It's kind of like the dolphins that use like 15% of their brains, using somewhat of a telepathy or like echolocation. That's
Oh, yeah.
that sense of clicks and shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it'd be awesome, man. I love to move shit with my mind. It'd be amazing.
You can do it, Dustin. You can.
I can't. Okay.
You're moving mountains with this podcast.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is so hot. It is titillating and arousing and pure ecstasy.
Wait, Dustin.
Yo.
You promised me that we would go over your tattoos, or not all of them.
Which ones
Since
do you
you're
want to
already
talk? Which one do you want
shirtless.
to talk about?
The ones that mean the most to you.
Yeah, we'll give you a show. What's up? Which one do you want to talk about? There's so many.
Which one means the most to you?
Do it. I think my chest.
Yeah.
Because it's the ancient astronaut theory. And then I have an Italian live life to the fullest. And I feel like I do. I still feel like I'm 18 years old. I'm 40 years old. Don't look like it, obviously. I've been told. And yeah, again, I just kind of like have that philosophy. Just kind of like just having fun, having that drive. Life's too fucking short to like just work to your hands off. You know what I'm saying? Like just have that work life. You know, I seen some people at my age. I run into some kids that I used to go to high school with, the same age, and they're looking horrible, like this bald, and overweight, and there's their dads and moms, and just that's the whole crazy life. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I support that too. But again, I can see it is taking a toll on their life, and it just seems it's just like how I feel like I'm so young. I could just, start doing backflips in the backyard and type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're true to yourself. That's why
I have a sex drive like a 15-year-old,
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's just maybe it is because never getting married. I haven't gotten married. I don't have any kids myself. And yeah, maybe just the philosophy, a way of thinking. Yeah, I don't know. I don't I don't just suck myself into that work life. And I just feel like I have to have this other hobbies like this and music and collecting. Like I had this, getting tattooed. Like I haven't gotten tattooed in 7 years. I just got tattooed yesterday and it felt amazing. It was therapeutic. It was awesome. And my guy that was tattooing me too, he actually listens to my show a lot too. So he supports this. And yeah, again, just really awesome just to talk with him again and just the atmosphere of the tattoo parlor. I'm like, I'm gonna be here again in maybe 3 weeks. I think I'm coming back. And Heidi, you got some tattoos, don't you?
I do. It's funny you say that. One of the birthday cards the little boy gave me, he made me the coolest. I don't know. He just improvised a medallion, and I held it up. I'm like, I think this is my next tattoo.
Oh,
it was
cool.
beautiful. I wish I would have it. Yeah, I haven't gotten it in a while. I think this was 19 was my last one, 2019.
Wow.
It's my dad. Something back here, and then all the writing up here is Armenian. It's my kids'
so
biological. Cool. Yeah, but I would do it again. Yeah, I'm not the poo-pooer of them. And I was a late in life starter. Like the neck one was a big, just everything has a
never too late
time. Never too late.
Never too late.
Yeah.
I was getting a long time ago. I was getting tattooed on my ribs, and some like 65-year-old woman comes in. And is like, I want to get my first tattoo today, and it's cool. I was getting tatted up, and this old woman next to me getting tatted up. Just cool, just to see someone that old. This is like, said fuck it, life's too short, or like something off the bucket list.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Do you have any, Chrissy?
I don't. I am actually extremely passionate about tattoos because every time I talk to a heavily tattooed person, they are passionate and they have stories for all of their tattoos. And I ask them about it and we talk. And I was telling Dustin before we started, I find that heavily tattooed people are non-judgmental. Just my personal experience with a lot of them that I've talked to. So I see them as like a safe space or like a safe person to go to.
I am
so
safe.
I know. So society can be judgmental towards heavily tattooed people, and I just gravitate towards them. I'm like, this person is non-judgmental. I want to talk to this person. I feel differently about it. Yeah,
I agree. There's so much intent and meaning behind people making that choice. I mean, there's the random Bugs Bunny people too from spring breaks or whatever, but then there's others that are like, like there's this intent and like this is my life number and my, like it's something. It feels passionate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's something about it. You're basically saying fuck society. And I love fuck society. My favorite type of person.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say like maybe 25% of my tattoos mean something to me, and I think the rest was just to get to the artistic love of the tattoo culture, just because
Oh.
I just love art in general, and the fact that like we can transform our bodies the way we want them, how we want it to. I think I find that amazing, and I could tell our whole life story. And you can even switch it up. I got my first blast over tattoo. I had my sleeves for a long, probably like 15 years. I had my sleeves, but yeah, I just got flowers on one sleeve. Basically, I was just like, I basically got the flowers because my mom, because I was getting it heavily tattooed, and I thought for sure my mom would be as pissed if I was just getting flowers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like something that you really can't frown upon. It's just like it's not like it's death, and So I just got a bunch of flowers on my arm. It's just like now I look at it, it's like, damn, I could have like put something really cool there, but now I can't. Now I found out you could do blast over work. It's just like throwing just work on top of it and not necessarily covering the old tattoos, kind of like having the old tattoos kind of be inside the new.
Yeah.
Just kind of just keeps going, kind of like it starts to look like a graffiti wall almost, just a bunch of random shit just all over it. Yeah, I just found out, oh, you can do that. All right, I can make a whole new sleeve out of that. I'm like, I'm gonna do that now. So I'm gonna like think of some other cool things to do. Because my sister just recently got tattooed like two big pieces. She's got like a half sleeve going. I'm like, yes, like that just got me into the itch. I'm like, you fuck. All right, if you're doing it, I'm fucking doing it. Get tattooed. So I was like, I went and surprised my guy. I went and just walked in at the parlor, and he just happened to just walk in finally. He's like, dude, I haven't seen you in years. I'm like, yeah, man, let's get some. I got a cool idea for you to do today. So let's do it. Let's do it. So again, we had a good talk because we haven't seen each other in forever. And he actually had his ups and downs too, relocating to a new parlor and relationship issues. And we kind of related on stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that we, reflected and had a nice talk during the tattoo. And that's why I miss that too, that connection that I had with my artist friends, tattoo artist friends. I just like going to the parlor. I used to work at the Lost Lace Tattoo back in the day. I was just the cashier and doing the bitch work and doing all the cleaning and running errands when they wanted food, and I would clean all the needles and sterilize, and I was getting free tattoos. That's why another reason why I had like a whole body full of tattoos.
Nice.
I was getting paid in tattoos, and so I was like,
great.
dude, I'm running out of room, bro. I need some money. He's like, I can't pay you, bro. And he just opened the shop and he's just trying to make ends meet as it is. I was like, well, I can't stay here for long. But anyways,
that's smart though. Yeah, you get jobs where stuff you need.
And making friends in the tattoo community where I can just jump around different tattoo parlors in town and being known. Like, hey, what's up, Dust? And then people follow me in my podcast, and because I'm like the heavily tattooed guy too, and having all my guests having tattoos. Or we had Rona from Iceland that has half her
she
face.
had face. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
With a traditional Viking from Iceland tattooing. I thought it was
that is bad.
Right? Talk about bold, right?
Yeah. It was like hubba hubba.
Yeah, she has.
I like that old school way, like Moana, like the way the Samoan. I don't know.
Yeah,
Samoan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the hand tap.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I would like to. We're gonna try to get her on again. I actually reached out to her. She was sick with COVID when I reached out to her. She didn't give me a date, so I can reach out to her again when I'm pretty
for the mermaid episode.
Yeah, we were going to talk because she has some stories about Iceland having stories of mermaids off the coast of Iceland, and there's interdimensional beings on Iceland. You know this, Heidi?
No, but I'm not surprised.
All right. No, like enough where the government takes it fucking seriously. Enough where like they won't build certain roads and won't move certain rocks on the island without getting the permission of the elves, of the hidden people, that interdimensional people that live on the outskirts of Iceland. So I don't know if like they like write a message in a bottle and set it on some rocks and leave. But again, if people don't, if they don't like get a response back, or sometimes they do get a response back from these elf people, and if they don't, and they move some of these rocks or they try to build some of these roads, they actually kill people, make people sick. They break machinery. They throw rocks at you, and they tell tourists who come to Iceland, don't throw rocks because you might hit an interdimensional being, and they'll fucking kidnap your ass and throw rocks at your ass and tie your ass to the tree. Like really, like sinister kind of crazy shit. And then she was telling me there was actually sexual relationships with some of the people on Iceland with some of these interdimensional beings, and they would go back and forth between the interdimensional land of theirs.
Holy
and then,
smokes.
Yeah, and like sometimes they just stay there forever. But these are modern cases, not old cases, like mythical
Holy
shit.
smokes.
She's talking about this. Yeah, it's like the UFO.
When are you gonna do that? When are you gonna do that show? I want to see that.
Oh, I'll have you join us on that show. Would you like?
Oh gosh, that'd be awesome. I'll just be like, oh.
No, I think more the merrier. So I'll shoot a weekend with her, and it'll be like in the afternoon because we'll probably shoot for like 1 o'clock. So it'll be like 11 o'clock your time, Heidi. Because she's in Norway. She lives in Norway, so it's 7 hours ahead of us. So
that would be so cool.
She would love to talk to. I think more heads would be fun to talk, and I think to talk to her. She's got so many good stories. She actually, she last episode I had her on twice. In the second episode, she was at a witch retreat out in the middle of nowhere in Norway forest. Like she barely got like reception. Like,
man, this chick is cool.
Super cool, man. Like, yeah, she was just learning more of her witchy ways and really getting down to earth. And she has some really cool stories. What she was there, and she actually, the people that were there too, they're all from around the world. So she pointed the camera to some of the other people, and I got to talk to some of them. Like some of the dudes from America, and those other guys from Southern Europe, and yeah, really crazy shit. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Wow. Nice.
So I'll really get her on here with all four of us.
That'd be great. I'm excited.
That'd be great. Yes. Yeah, I'm free up after Thursday. I'm good for I'm down for a month.
Oh, cool.
Just gotta play Secret Santa, and then I'm good.
Oh man. Do you have your outfit picked out for that?
I did say we could do cozy pajamas. So we're gonna have jammy day, and then yeah, nothing too fun.
Yeah, actually, I think my sister actually made that suggestion today about doing a pajama Christmas, like everybody doing pajamas. Nice. We never done that before, so I think that'd be kind of cool.
It's fun. I love little dress up stuff. One of my little gals dresses up all the time. She wore a Christmas tree on her head last week, and she's always like decked. She's just always got the outfit and everything matching but themed. And so she came in with like the Christmas lights all around her flashing. And I'm like, that's great. You gave me an idea. Like, let's go holiday next week. She's like, yes. They're so cute.
Wow. Chrissy likes to dress up. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, dude. So does Rachel too. Like I was talking to Rachel Hoffman. I saw some of her outfits from this weekend. Wow.
Yeah,
she's like a flapper and everything. She's just like me, loves dressing up all crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine like how long does it take you to pick out an outfit? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can't imagine how many outfits you do have.
The preparation takes a while.
Every day is a fucking theme with you.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna be on a movie set today. Shit.
When you have a passion for it, you're like, no, I gotta look. I look at old like Viking pictures. I'm like, I need inspiration. You know?
The inspiration stuff. Yes. I'm a hoarder
like
too.
Mad Max today.
Yeah. I get everyone's hand-me-downs. They call me hand-me-down Heidi. So sometimes if I'm not resonating with the outfit, like my older friend who left, all these suits came in. I'm like, oh yeah. And I just got in this mode of like, like secretary. And like I like this, I gotta keep these around. And yeah, the little red cloak. Yeah, I love the looks. I'm either like earth tones or black. Which one's it gonna be? So doll up to fit your moods.
No, it's fun.
No, it is. It's I like to play dress up when I have nice clothes. I guess I like to really take pictures of myself. Like, I got a new shirt.
You are a selfie king.
Yes. Yeah, why not? Life's too short. And I don't feel like I'm 40, so fuck y'all.
No,
Yes.
you look like a kid for sure.
You're a pup. You're a young pup.
Yep.
Oh man.
Well, heck yeah. Well, yeah, I'm getting my AARP flyers and mailers already.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
They said 50 and over, you start getting these mailers, and I'm like,
Those bastards.
It's been funny. I love it. It's funny. I collect them. 50's the new 30. I feel like 40 is the new 20.
But Heidi, you seriously don't look 50 at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not close.
I feel it after Thanksgiving week. You can feel it when you get inflammation and like you're like, okay. But I also know what I did to get to that point. But I swear though, if I'm not in a good mode or if something changed, my face gets old. Yeah, your body reflects what's going on the inside. So
sure.
I'm either
it's all
like
about how you
really
feel.
yes.
From an outside perspective, from like other people, take it from us. You are just
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I'm saying you're sipping on the fountain of youth. My
people
God.
like Heidi are going to be 20 forever, but it's all about your mindset, because I've seen people 30 who look way older than Heidi. It's all about your mindset.
Sure.
It's all about the way you live your life, and it's all about how well you take care of yourself.
That's it. I do. Yes. You know what? I resonate with all of that. Mostly how you feel on the inside, because I never take my makeup off at night. I'm in the sun religiously with baby oil and reflectives. I'm like, I do all the wrong things. I used to drink like a sailor and, did every drug, like all these things, but I get it. It's like when you fill up with love again and you're doing what you love, like all your hobbies, like Dustin, you're surrounding yourself with all the things you love to do. That's youthful. You're not sitting there going, one day I've got to do this. You're like doing it now.
No, it's like the next day I'm going to show up in Daisy Dukes and hot oil.
Yeah. And a Big Mac.
I'm trying to find the right bra to show Dustin tonight. What color should I go with? Good one. The only good one. Actually, I'm going to go with the no bra. Fuck that. This is the national flash. Damn. Get me all flustered over here.
Oh, you got sweaty again. I can see it.
Yeah, it comes and goes at the wave. The wave of Heidi Popp.
Oh my goodness.
Pop. Man. Jesus.
Yeah, it's legit. It's
totally
short.
Legit.
It's German, but they say they shortened it when they came over. But I had German clients on set, and they're like, "No, Pop's kind of common." So I'm like, I don't know, I can't get a right answer, but somehow I got short. But I stuck to it. I was married before, and I didn't change my name, and it was a thing. I was like, "You can't change Pop." There were only girls in our family for a while too, till my brother was born. So I'm like, "There's no way I'm changing it." So now I married my giant, and I haven't changed it, but the kids have a hyphenate. So now my son can carry on. Pop.
I love it. I love your name. I feel like it represents your bubbly personality.
It really
Never
does.
lose that name.
It does. It's
I
so
absolutely
crazy.
Won't. Yeah. I use it for my handle. People are like, aren't you like, some people's handles like beep boop bop boop, 7 Fix or all these funky names. I'm like, I just like Heidi Pop. I'm like, isn't it easy to remember my name?
Oh man! So what else you got going on tonight? Oh, you have another podcast.
Yeah, I have the live. That's 5:30 my time, and that's with Lawrence. We do it weekly now. I've known him. He's who I moved out here with. I've known him 25 years now. Film buddy, and he's fully involved in kids' health and family health. And he does all the fancy things. He has programs he puts in schools and stuff. But to me, he's just my old roommate that we lived on wine and cheese and GNC bars for like years. Like we survived the move to LA. And so, but he's down in Huntington Beach. I don't see him that much. And anyway, so we talk every week for like 45 minutes about just throw out little headlines and I call it headlines and hopium. Like we throw out little hopeful spins on these health little things that they blast. And we try not to get flagged and taken down, and just keeping those algorithms going. But I am supposed to interview a few people coming up, and I am on the 16th. I'm on Heavenly Tea, which is on Rumble and Gnostic TV. I've been on with her before, and that's going to be more maternal woo, guardian, mothery kind of thing. So that'll be nice. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what's coming up.
That's really cool. Again, you do such a great job doing that, and just that the whole mothery and the teacher, it's awesome. Just killing it.
Thanks, Just. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Stepping into mission.
All right. Hey, I think we're going to wrap it up for today, and we'll do this again. We'll have maybe Rona join us next time.
The mermaids.
We'll talk about that. And I'm glad that you have some more free time here, Heidi, so we can have you on again. Because I just love having you on. Because I miss these big group chats. Like remember the big group chats we used to have?
I love group chats. They're fun.
I do.
And I'm so happy to meet you, Chrissy. So thank you.
Oh my God,
it's
so nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me. We'll chat more. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll chat again for the mermaid episode. And
sweet.
Yeah, you're awesome. I love your energy. Just such high vibrational energy. You're just so positive, and just no bad vibes from you. I get no bad vibes at all.
Thank you. And I love doing this. I love this exchange. It's like I do call social media and, the internet and Wi-Fi and all that like a weapon of mass destruction. But to be honest, it also is, we have, just like being in LA, we have to bring in the good stuff too. So we make it, we spin it.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a good way to connect. So
this is awesome.
Authentic.
This is awesome.
So thank you.
Well, I want you to stay with us for 2 more minutes.
Okay.